Hey guys, I'm going to go over 3 things you need to know about getting a search warrant. A lot of cops are intimidated by the idea that they might have to get a search warrant. What you're going to find out is it's very simple to do, easier than you think, and it'll be far less intimidating when you're faced with circumstances where you're going to have to apply to get one. So what do you need to be able to apply for a search warrant through the courts? And the answer is you've had to complete a basic course for police officers. So if you've gone through the academy and graduated, you now qualify to be able to apply for search warrants in the court. Here are some things you got to know about the initial search warrant. 1, the courts are going to look for your qualifications, an affidavit, and the actual search warrant itself. What does that mean? First thing you want to do is have your qualifications ready for when you have to apply for a search warrant. What does this mean? It's a list of trainings and certifications and experiences that you've had in the past that tells the court about who you are and why you're qualified to apply for this kind of search warrant. The next portion is the affidavit. What does that mean? It means the events that led you to applying to the courts for a search warrant. This is crazy because you would think it's some crazy thing, but it's not. It's actually very simple. What you basically do is take your qualifications that you have pre-written, you're going to actually write your report, and then pretty much copy and paste your report onto your qualifications. Then find a template for the actual search warrant itself. So this gives the judge the ability to read your qualifications, the circumstances that occurred, and why you're seeking a search warrant. Once the judge deems that you have enough probable cause to apply for a search warrant, he or she can grant that search warrant. They sign the affidavit, they sign the search warrant, and then you're able to execute it in accordance with what the court deemed proper. Upon the execution of a search warrant, typically the person whose search warrant is being executed upon or their property is to be provided a copy of the search warrant itself and a receipt of the items taken. The court then wants something called a return, so that you're going to take that same stuff of the things you've collected and let the courts know this is what the search warrant yielded and return that to the court for the judge to process. I'm trying to make it sound simplified because it really is simple. For years as a police officer, I was terrified with the idea of me having to apply for a search warrant. I'll never forget the first time I actually applied for one. I could not believe how simple it was. It was a matter of somebody explaining to me how to do it. And once I understood it the first time, I was able to do these things seamlessly. Knowing how to apply to the courts for a search warrant is a significant factor in your confidence and ability to make good, well-informed decisions and calls in the field as a law enforcement officer. If this video gave you clarity on how to get a search warrant, your next step is to go find somebody that has done search warrants in the past, pick their brains, and ask them to share the documents they've used, look over them, create your own, and you'll be off to the races.